Welcome back to the RV list with Rhonda. As promised, I'm going to cover the sewer part and the black tanks and the gray tanks and how to hook them up and all that. It's not like this. I know you think it is because I did. And the very first time I ever dumped a tank, I had on my boots and I had on my long gloves going, oh gosh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. It's so easy. Don't even think about it. So the first thing that we definitely need to buy is some rubber gloves. I kind of keep them where I store my sewer things. So you can get wherever you want to buy them. These I got, I think, at Harbor Freight because, you know, we all love that place. And so that's the first thing, because you want to make sure, if you keep them close to your RV stuff, you remember to put them on. You shouldn't forget when you start doing that. So this is the sewer outlet or inlet or whatever they want to call that. You should also have one in your yard if you have a house. That little cap is going to screw off. And I always kind of keep it next to it unless it's bad weather, and then I'll actually put it in my RV stuff so it doesn't get lost. This can be sometimes kind of hard to get off. They do make tools for this. It's like a little square thing, and then you can like wrench it off. I've never had any problem at RV parks. I can't get the one off at my house. I never use it anyway, but I did try to get it off once. It's really tight. So you're welcome to buy the tool if you think. I've never needed it. So this is what you'll have on the end of your hose. So when you go to buy the sewer hose, make sure you get two at least. I don't care if they're 225, a 30, and a 20. Get two. You're going to need two, because even here I thought I was close enough to my sewer and I needed both the ones that I bought. You never know how far away you're going to end up being. So you're going to want to take this cap off, and then you're going to have just a regular opening like this. Now this is your black and gray tank access. I don't know what they call that. There's a cap on this one. Brand new RVs, it's super hard to get off, and it will be for a little while. I think I was just now getting my other one broke in, and my RV was 3 or 4 years old. So make sure that you buy one of these, especially if you're not a super strong person. This is like a wrench. So when you put it on, you're going to have it kind of like this, and you're going to apply pressure one way or the other to get that cap off. This first time that I used it, I didn't think I was going to be able to get it off. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to go to my neighbor and have him help me. But I got it off, and I was all proud. So make sure you buy one of these little tools. They're super handy. So once you get the lid off, you're going to have, hopefully it's going to be attached to something. If not, make sure you put it up. Keep up with this. You don't want this open when you're going down the road. You're going to get some very mad people. So if you'll notice, you'll see that there is a black and a gray side, little handles there. We're going to show that here in a minute. Here's your sewer hose all connected, all nice and tight. And then here's how you put it into the inlet, sewer inlet. You should have some kind of an elbow, clear. A lot of people like clear. I don't really like it. And then you should have a little orange screw-on thing there at the end. I always keep those two parts together, and I just screw it right in. Make sure you have one of those, because a lot of places, they're hard to get to stay down, and you don't want that thing popping out when you're using it. So it's just rude to your neighbors. And there it is, all tied together. Okay, back to your tanks. Now you're going to have your black tank, which is your yuck tank, and your gray tank, which is your not so yuck tank. Your black tank is your toilet, pretty much. Your contaminated things, and then your gray tank is your sink and your shower. It usually smells good with the soap, but that's a not so yuck tank. It's very important to know the difference between the two. So when you want to dump your tanks, which I suggest you do every couple days before you leave and you go somewhere else, make sure that you pull your black one first and then your gray one. That way your gray water will kind of clean out your black water. Make sure you have plenty in there. Don't do it every day. You know, even if you have a lot of people, I don't think you need to do it every day. Make sure it fills up, especially the black tank, because you're going to have chemicals that you put in there, and I'll show those later, and that kind of breaks everything up and keeps it from plugging up. If you leave that open, don't do that, please. I was parked next to somebody that left their black tank open, and it was disgusting. I could smell it every time I walked out my door. Most of the RV parks, you'll have your door here and like a picnic area, and then they're going to be like opposite of you, so you're going to see their tanks, and if they have that open, it just blows right into your area. It's just rude. So make sure you keep them closed at all times, and then when you go to drain, like I said, do your black and your gray. Toilet papers, you'll start seeing a big old controversy about the toilet paper. A lot of people put it in the trash, or they're not allowed to use that. They have to go use the bathrooms at the facilities wherever they're at. I use it. I've never had a problem. If you don't keep your black tank full, okay, so you can shut this off because it gets really gross. You'll get a poop triangle is what they call it. It's going to pile up, and it's not going to, you know, break up, and it's not going to drain out. And then when it does, it's going to plug. So you're going to have somebody come in. I've heard people having to call the sewer people to come in and clean that out. So just make sure you're using plenty of water when you're flushing. Make sure you're using dissolvable toilet paper if you go that way. I'm not even going to get started on that. And make sure that you use your gray tank after. You flush your gray tank after. Now, about every other time, because it's just me, I will wash out my sewer hose when I'm breaking down. After I take it off, I'll spray it out, but don't use your water that goes into your RV. Use a separate hose. Plug it into your little Y connector like I talked about, and rinse out that tank. You don't want cross-contamination. You can also flush out your tank. They make a little, I don't know what they call it. I'll put the link in the comments too. But it's got some valves on it, kind of like these, and you drain your tank, you shut the valve, you turn on your water, and it sprays water up in there, and you fill up your tank, and then you flush it, and fill up and flush it. So eventually your tank gets cleaner and cleaner, and you can tell what's coming out of there. I did that about every other time that I did a trip, because it's just me. I'm kind of excited. This is terrible. But I'm kind of excited. If you look real close here at the edge, and I'll point it out here. This is a black tank flush. Now, I haven't used this yet. This is something new for me. I assume you put your clean hose up in there, not for your tank, but your other garden hose. Put it up in there, and it'll flush your black tanks for you, so you don't have to have that special little tool that I had before. So that's about it. So again, it's not like this. It's going to be fine. Just make sure that you watch your cross-contamination. That's always a hard word for me to say. And make sure that you store your sewer stuff separate from your clean water stuff. You know, keep it separate. Keep it on its own little bag or whatever you're going to use. And that's about it. I mean, it's pretty easy. Just a few little rules to remember. You can also look up stuff. I'm sure there's a lot more that I haven't covered. But that's about it for me. So thank you for tuning in. You can subscribe and share, and you know, if you know somebody that's fixing to buy an RV, please share it. I think I kind of go into a little more detail than a lot of these other different sites, because I see a lot of channels that just kind of say, okay, you know, here's your gray tank, or here's this. They don't really go into detail of the pieces that you have to buy and how you put it together. So make sure you share it, and I'll put up another video, maybe 2 weeks. See you later. Bye.